Hello and welcome to another asliga.com video article. I hope you're all having a wonderful game week 7 and collecting plenty of green arrows. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about James Milner. I discovered a few interesting things reviewing yesterday's games. So usually the first thing I'll do after a game week or a day of games is I will come into the My Statistics page and I will filter all the games from just the one game week and have a look who's got the highest ALI. For those who don't know what the ALI is, it's basically our index rating that rates the fantasy relevant involvement of players. It doesn't take into account goals or assists, so it's purely the involvement, it's not the end product. And I saw that Milner topped it here at 21.8, which is one of the highest I've seen all season. So the ALI is pretty much, a little indication. It's putting its hand up, it's saying, hey, fantasy manager, take a look inside. There's more information here for you to see. There's something interesting that you could possibly learn. So I had a look at James Milner, and the first thing I noticed was that his ALI has increased week to week, pretty much every week since game week 4. These ALIs here are quite high too, 13.2 and 14.6, but we've got a nice incline which suggests that Milner is improving and becoming more and more involved as the game weeks are going on. So if we take a look at just last night's stats, we will see that he played 90 minutes, ALI 21.8, got a fantasy return as he picked up an assist and with 7 points and 1.3 points per million. His shooting was nothing to write home about. He only had one shot at goal and that was not even on target, but the passing is where things get very interesting. He provided 15 crosses with 4 accurate crosses. Got the 1 assist, but the really exciting thing was that he provided 8 key passes. Now, to put that into perspective, the most key passes provided by any player over the course of the season thus far is equal 20 with Downing and Fabregas. James Milner has almost half that in one game. So that is something that we need to be paying attention to. The next thing I thought, well, there's often a bit of a carousel in Manchester City. It's always a headache picking players from there because they've got so many great players, you never know who's going to start. So I had a look at his minutes, and if we go to minutes, I noticed that he has played 90 minutes the last 4 game weeks, which is a good sign. So then if we go into the Manchester City Club Centre, I wanted to take a look at how he was contributing in relation to everyone else in the squad. So if we take a look at game week 7 and his, bear with me, we're going past the key passes, here we go. You can see that obviously we already know we got 8 key passes, but it was head and shoulders above Silva and everyone else. If we take a look at his crosses, again, Milner tops the list with 53.6% of all the crosses supplied by Manchester City last night. Is this a trend that is, been going on for a couple of weeks? If we take a look at game week 6, we'll see that Milner topped the crossing charts again with 8, 5 above Silva on 3. If we have a look at the key passes, again, Milner equal with Silva in game week 6 with 4. Take a look at game week 5. And we will see that key passes, Milner ahead of the pack again on 4. Silva only down there on 1. And if we take a look at crosses again, Milner tops the charts with 12 crosses ahead of Silva. This then begs the question, at an ownership of 0.6%, and a price tag of 5.3 million, is Milner a better fantasy option for Manchester City cover than David Silva? Silva's price has risen in the last few days. I think it's at 9.1 now. A lot of players looking to bring him in, but should perhaps, if you're looking for Manchester City cover, you'd be looking at Milner. So if we do a comparison between the two, James Milner, and take a look at how they compare head to head, we will see that over the course of the season, David Silva is ahead, obviously. He's played a lot more minutes than James Milner. So if we just take a look at the last 4 game weeks, which are just the 4 games that Milner has played 90 minutes, we will see something very interesting. and that is James Milner is ahead of David Silva in most of the statistics. He's played more minutes than Silva and has brought in more points in the last 4 game weeks. He's scoring at 3.6 points per million, whereas Silva is only scoring at 1.5 points per million. He's brought in 2 fantasy returns, where Silva has only brought in 1 fantasy return. We can see that Silva is more of a goal threat. Silva's taking more shots, but he's not that far ahead. He's taken 8 shots. Milner has taken 5. Milner has put in many more crosses, 36 against Silva's 17. We can see that Silva and Milner have provided the same amount of assists, 2 apiece, and that Milner has actually provided more key passes with 16. In fact, if we have a look at the key passes over each game week, we will see that these last few weeks, Milner is ahead of Silva. This begs the question, as I said before, do we need to be looking at James Milner instead of David Silva? He has a much more attractive price tag, and if you can get someone who's going to be playing 90 minutes week in, week out for Manchester City, one of the top teams, at 5.3 million, and is more industrious than David Silva right now, are you going to be all over it? 0.6%, definitely something to think about. You can discover all these things for yourself if you register at asliga.com. Please follow us on Twitter at asligaofficial. Good luck with the rest of the game week. Thanks, guys.